Be the person you needed when you were younger. Be the person you needed to come save you when you were younger. If you have survived childhood trauma or traumatic childhood, something of that nature, adulthood allows you time and space and also the opportunity to create and curate your own personal Super Saiyan Savior real life action figure, which is you. Although you are now an adult, inside there is still your inner child, a younger self, a younger version of you that wished that there was somebody out there that would come and save them, whether it be a parent, aunt, uncle, family, friend, somebody at the church, etc. You wished at some point in time that there was somebody that came to your aid. However, and for whatever reason, that did not happen. However, fast forward, you are here now. You can be that person that you wished would have come to save you when you were younger. Hey y'all, welcome back to my channel. Self-love is currency. If you are new to this channel, go ahead and click that like button if you resonate with the title of the message or any other content, and go ahead and subscribe for more. If you are returning to this channel, if you are an OG, thank you all so much for your continued support. I truly do appreciate you. We are on episode 4 of this series, Reveal to Heal or Heal to Reveal. The more that we reveal parts of ourselves, our experiences, our traumas, just who we are and who we've been, the more that we heal. And the more that we heal parts of ourselves, our experiences, those parts that we tend to hide, our shadow self, the more we reveal our true and authentic self. And we also, in doing so, create opportunities to connect with like minded people who are also on the same journey. So, yes, if you haven't already, go ahead and click the like button. Go ahead and subscribe for more. But the title of this episode, Be the Person You Needed When You Were Younger to Come and Save You. If you hear some paper rattling, I guess this was an unofficial journal prop for myself. Um, so I took some notes, and I just want to make sure that I stay on task and on subject, and that also kind of helps things flow. So, yes, if you're asking yourself, how do I become the person that I needed to come save me when I was younger? I have some key points for you. So, if you stay tuned, I will drop the gems. And also, before I get into that, the reason why this is important is so that we can merge our selves, our past self to our current self, so that we can manifest and bring into fruition our future self. Yeah, I've heard of the saying like no child left behind, no inner child left behind. We don't want any parts of ourselves wrapped up in old timelines with different emotions, different memories, some negative. We need all of that energy so that we can create the most abundant, the most vibrant, the most freeing future. So that's why it is important to heal. It's important to patch up whatever holes, whatever wounds that we have. It's important to tend to that. And as I always say, it's not easy, but it's very rewarding. And that's why this channel and community exists, so that we can do so in an authentic manner, but also feel safe enough to tend to parts of ourselves that we have hidden but also need love to. So, without further ado, step one, get to know yourself. It is very important as an adult to get to know yourself. As a child, if you are a survivor of any form of abuse, you spend a lot of time trying to survive or just get through the day. And that mentality can be transferred to adulthood. You are just getting through the day, going to work, doing whatever routine you have, going to sleep. Well, going home first, eating dinner, going to sleep, and then doing the same routine over and over. And as time goes on, um, we can just get so much into routine and survival that we're being robotic. We're not really being in tune with the essence of who we are, even on a humanistic level. So get to know your strengths, weaknesses, and also your traumas. You don't have to necessarily talk about these things. You can have a journal and just write down things that you know you excel in and also things that you know you need to work on. And maybe, I'm not going to say maybe, I do have times where I have dark humor. And this will also probably be an episode. But everybody is toxic. Everybody has some level of toxicity. It's just up to you to decide what levels of toxicity that a person has or embodies is too much for you. Um, and also, you know, what level of toxicity, um, yeah, I think I'm just repeating myself at this point. Basically, whatever somebody else's energy is it too much for your own energy as far as merging it, meshing? But it's good to know what your strengths, weaknesses, and traumas are, and what level of toxicity are you. And you need to invest in yourself and personal development in order to build yourself up. This is so important, because building yourself up, you're going to give yourself the opportunity to fill in the gaps, to, you know, fill in those holes and to tend to those wounds so that you can create a strong foundation. The strong foundation that should have been created in childhood, um, that wasn't. And this isn't the episode to place blame, but we're still just being honest. That foundation of self that should have been created in childhood was not. However, all is not lost. Adulthood for me, especially after turning 30, it's almost like me giving myself a second childhood because I'm in control, baby. I'm driving this ship now. And that's how you should think. Like, allow yourself a second childhood and don't mind people saying you being immature when are you gonna grow up and blase blase. But this allows you to create that strong foundation within self. And this leads me into the next point, reparenting yourself is very needed. When you think of a wounded inner child, there's normally some type of barrier between you and your parents or whoever raised you. So, um, there's some type of disparity, some type of situation, because in any normal situation, and I know I'm using the term normal very lightly, um, there would have been parents that took care of you. There wasn't any abuse or mistreatment. But, you know, for whoever's listening and this message is resonating, that was not the case. Maybe your parents or whoever raised you were absent. Maybe you were abandoned. Maybe they were abusive or narcissistic. Maybe they suffered from mental illness or substance abuse issues. Whatever the case may be, that left you alone, susceptible and vulnerable to mistreatment, abuse, trauma, and also lack of personal development and just development overall. You have to rewrite things by being your own parent. And that can be difficult because you just want to like be yourself, like work on the things that you need to work on just being an adult, if that makes sense, instead of doing that and also having to play your own parent, if you will. And although difficult, like I said, it's necessary, it's rewarding because it's allowing you to rewrite your own narrative. So, when it comes to reparenting, and this is a separate thought altogether, too, as well, in a separate video. This may look like vetting people, friends, lovers, um, business opportunities, so on and so on. More simply, this can mean having a routine, having a nighttime routine and a morning routine. I myself, I have to get on my head, especially when it comes to doom scrolling, being on my phone. It's almost like, me treating myself, like I said, like I'm my own child. Like, girl, you need to get off that phone and get your butt to bed. You need to eat your greens, having more spinach, being more mindful of what I'm putting in my body. Um, Working out, being mindful of spending. And this is just being not over not only I said over not only appreciative of what you have, but being a steward of your assets and what you have. So this is how like reparenting can show up in yourself now as an adult that's trying to do inner child healing. And the third point of this, say no. Feel free to say no and stand on business. You help your inner child heal and be free by having boundaries. And by one way of practicing boundaries is by saying no. Your younger self may not have had this luxury. So if something doesn't feel right, no. If you need more time to think about something, a situation, or a person, or an opportunity, take it. If your body doesn't feel comfortable um, in a situation, a place, listen. As an adult survivor, you are a living, breathing testimony. You are so beautiful. Your story has the ability to change many lives and is purposeful. That's why you've survived. Like, and I stand on that. If you've had struggles, a traumatic upbringing, you lived for a reason, a purpose. So you have to safeguard your impact and purpose by being okay. And this is the next point. You have to be okay with being the villain now as an adult. And you are the villain now as an adult because you are cultivating, as I said before, that supervillain action figure, present time you that you needed to come save you when you were younger. And that looks like somebody that's okay with saying no. That looks like somebody that has boundaries. That looks like somebody that knows themselves, knows their strengths, knows their weaknesses, knows their traumas. They are invested in self and personal development. So yeah, people can say like, "Oh, he's too harsh. Why they so serious all the time? They always working on themselves. They stay to themselves. They always saying no." But what it really means is that you are not easily manipulated. You are not easily taken advantage of. You can't easily be deceived. You won't allow yourself to be misguided and go unprotected. Because remember, your younger self was unprotected. You know how you felt when you were younger. You went to family members to tell them such and such was touching on you, and they didn't do shit. You had to fend for yourself and your younger sisters, figure out what to eat, find things to feed yourself, and you a kid yourself. Yet you had to make provision. You went unprotected. You were neglected. Sometimes not even thought of. And you've already gone through that timeline of experiences, of feelings, of emotions. So you owe it to yourself to create a new timeline, to create a new reality where you are the total opposite. You're having a different version of experiences. You are literally the person that you needed. Currently, you are currently the person that you needed to come save you back then. So it's okay for people to think that you're the villain. They can stand on that if they want to. But what you're standing on is your own experiences. So you get exactly to a T, point blank, period, why you are the way that you are now. Because you needed somebody back then. And maybe it took you 20 years to cultivate, to create, to transform into this version of yourself. But it is all worth it. Not only are you healing your inner child, but you are also protecting future people that come after you by setting the record straight and by being an example. If you are still tuned into this message, thank you all so very much for the support. Go ahead and click that like button and go ahead and subscribe if you haven't already. Feel free down below to let me know how this message resonates, and I will catch y'all on the next episode of this series. Peace.